So until this video series, I have never uttered the statement, the 2010s. That just seems really weird to me because like the 1990s seemed like it was about 10 years ago, even though that's totally not true. If I seem awkward saying that, it is because I am. Welcome back, Gothamites. If you're new here, hi. I'm London, aka History of the Batman. 2020 is coming up, and that's so odd to me. But it's not just a new year, it is literally the end of an actual era because the 2010s will be over. That's so weird to say. So inspired by sites such as BuzzFeed, I wanted to do a short video series for the rest of this year that highlights the best Batman from the 2010s. Each week for the rest of 2019, I will be highlighting the best of the Caped Crusader in comics, film, television, and video games to reflect on the past decade and how this era has shaped the Batman in and out of the comic book universe. So for our first video, we will be talking about the best Batman films of the 2010s. For this and all of the other three, I believe, videos that I will be doing for this end of the decade roundup, the content had to be done from 2010 all the way to 2019, this year, right now. And the content either has to be Batman-centric in nature within the Batman universe, or Batman plays a very, very important role within the film, comic, television series, or video game as a whole. And for this video all about the Batman movies, I will be giving you a top 10 list. Since there are about like over 30 films that have come out between 2010 and now that have Batman in it, it's Batman-centric, all of those things, and I didn't really want to be sitting here for 2 hours talking to you about all 30 plus films, so I'm doing a top 10. Hope that's okay. But before we get into the best Batman films of this decade, why don't you subscribe to this channel and become part of this wonderful Gothamite community. Our number 10 film is Justice League Doom. This animated film was released in 2012 and was loosely adapted from the Mark Waid and Howard Porter JLA series called Tower of Babel, which was originally released in the year 2000. Part of the DC Universe animated original movies and starring Kevin Conroy voicing Bruce Wayne / Batman. This film, very similar to the comic book series, follows Vandal Savage, who was replacing Ra's al Ghul, who was in the original comic book series, but Vandal Savage is one of my favorite time-traveling villains, so I am totally fine with him replacing Ra's in this movie. Has used contingency plans that was originally created by Batman to take out each and every member of the Justice League. The Justice League, of course, did not know that these contingency plans existed, and Batman had to tell them, well, I have them just in case you guys turn evil or something, so I have to make sure I take you out because I have to be ready for anything. This film is fantastic for many reasons. One being it was written by the very, very amazing Dwayne McDuffie, who unfortunately passed away shortly after writing this film. Of course, this movie was dedicated in his honor. It is based off Mark Waid's amazing limited series that I definitely recommend if you have not read JLA Tower of Babel before. It is such a fun ride. And it is one of those stories that Batman fans can use anytime, whether now, in the future, whenever, to show that Batman can in fact beat any and everyone. I love that theory. I love the God complex theory that many people have with Batman, and stories like these or DKR, things of that nature where it shows that Batman is beating all these very, very more powerful heroes, whoever, does not help that. But it is now a fan favorite animated film and is repeatedly suggested by Batman fans, DC fans, and is watched all the time. You can watch it, I'm pretty sure, on DC Universe if you haven't seen it or it interests you, or you've read Tower of Babel but haven't seen the movie, which Maybe that's you, I don't know. But I do recommend watching it. Our number 9 film is Batman the Killing Joke. Now, I have a reason for putting this movie on the list, and I have a reason why this movie shouldn't be on the list, but here we are. I'm sure you can guess the reason why this movie shouldn't be on the list is because of the treatment that the film gave to the relationship between Bruce Wayne's Batman and Barbara Gordon's Batgirl, and them having a sexual relationship, which is very odd considering Babs and Batman typically have a platonic work partner relationship. So the fact that that was all sexualized rubbed fans the wrong way. However, the rest of the film is literally point for point for point Batman the Killing Joke as it was written by Alan Moore and illustrated by Brian Bolland and John Higgins back in 1988. And it is outstanding. Of course, it is an actual, besides the Bruce Wayne and Babs having sex on a roof and all that, but take that out, and you basically have Alan Moore's Joker origin story. You have the story where Barbara Gordon is shot by the Joker and paralyzed from the waist down, eventually taking up the new persona Oracle, and you have, of course, that fantastic Batman and Joker fighting, which is always a treat. But another major pro of The Killing Joke is, of course, it was voiced by Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, who reprised their roles as Batman and Joker respectively. And anytime these two are on any screen together as Batman and Joker, it is a win for everybody. And it totally, at least for me, made me not think so much about the side Batman and Babs storyline, because their Batman and Joker is literally perfect. And considering everyone had been waiting and waiting and waiting forever for The Killing Joke to be adapted into some type of movie, whether live action or animation, despite some criticisms, I think many people enjoyed The Killing Joke. The rest of the movie. Like I said, besides extra stuff, it's very, very good. And if you have read The Killing Joke but haven't watched the movie yet, I definitely recommend it. The voice actors alone, Tara Strong is Batgirl, so how can you not with this cast? Check it out. And if you don't want to see Batman and Batgirl get it on, like, close your eyes. It's totally fine. Our number 8 film is Batman Year One, which was released in 2011. Batman Year One is a near perfect adaptation of Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli's 4-issue arc of the same name, which was originally published in 1987. Of course, it is a modern retelling of Bill Finger's Batman origin story, which originally was published in 1939's Detective Comics issue 33, and follows Bruce Wayne as he returns to Gotham from training abroad, and follows his first days, weeks, months into actually being the Batman within Gotham City. The film, as the comic does, also follows the very, very early days of James Gordon when he was a detective and transferred from Chicago to Gotham City to work at the Gotham City Police Department, where of course Gordon finds out that Gotham is corrupt as hell, and so it's its department, and has to work on figuring out the system of Gotham and how to actually correct it and not fall into the corrupt system that was already in place. And even the voice cast of this film is pretty solid. Ben McKenzie voices Bruce Wayne / Batman, which I think is hilarious considering Ben McKenzie was James Gordon on Gotham for ever, or at least the last 5 years, so that's kind of fun. And then you have Bryan Cranston, the amazing Bryan Cranston, who voiced Commissioner James Gordon. And I say, that up there, that Commissioner Gordon, he's like top 3 for me. His voice is amazing, which is why many people wanted him to actually play Commissioner Gordon in live action, in particular for Justice League. And I think this film has like Eliza Dushku as Catwoman. I mean, the voice acting is great. It is literally a perfect adaptation of Miller's original book, and for animated purposes, it's a fantastic rendition of Bruce Wayne's origin story transforming into Batman, and the early years of Commissioner Gordon when he wasn't commissioner. So it's a great watch, and it's a great read. If you haven't seen it, or you haven't seen it in a while because it came out in 2011, pretty sure that's on DC Universe too. This is not a sponsorship with DC Universe. I'm just telling you. And The Killing Joke, I know, is on DC Universe. And I also watched it on HBO Go the other night, so it's in multiple places. You can find it. Our number 7 movie is Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox. Now this movie, which was originally released in 2013, is based off of Jeff Johns and Andy Kubert's series Flashpoint, which was originally released along with all of the tie-ins and all of that fun stuff in 2011, right before the New 52 began. It follows Barry Allen, aka The Flash, who has traveled to another entirely different timeline where everything is different, including Batman, who is not Bruce Wayne, but his father, Thomas Wayne, because in this universe, Bruce Wayne was gunned down by Joe Chill, and Thomas and Martha witnessed this murder within Crime Alley. And this transformed not only Thomas into this universe's very lethal, gun-toting Batman, but it also transformed Martha Wayne into the Joker after she literally was driven mad by the death of her son. That alone, Thomas Wayne's Batman being introduced in this series and presented in this animated film, is all the reason you need for this to be on this list. Literally, Thomas Wayne's Batman is one of the most fan favorite interpretations of the character, and the character's 80 years old. He has literally been everything. But no, this one, the one that's shooting with a gun and killing people and is just way more, I think, ruthless than Bruce Wayne's Batman, people like. But if you give Bruce Wayne a gun, oh no, it's fine. I don't care if you like Thomas Wayne, like him. I'm not telling you not to like him. But of course, in the comic and the film, Thomas Wayne's Batman helps Barry Allen not only become the Flash again, but also stop Reverse Flash, who he believes is the reason why he's there, and to go back to his own timeline. Very good book. The tie-in chapters, Batman Night of Vengeance, which just follows Thomas Wayne's Batman as he's trying to stop Martha Wayne's Joker, is also fantastic. That was written by Brian Azzarello, but it is a tie-in to Jeff Johns' series. And the film itself is a great adaptation of that book. It is very Batman heavy, so if you are looking for that and want to see Thomas Wayne's Batman and also Bruce Wayne's Batman is in this for a little bit, I recommend it. Our number 6 film is Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Of course, I am including part 1 and 2 together because part 1 came out in 2012 and part 2 came out in 2013. So I'm lumping them all as one if you are curious. Now this is a very, very, very good adaptation of Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, and Lynn Verley's 1986 4-issue arc Batman The Dark Knight Returns, which of course is the groundbreaking graphic novel that is set in an alternate timeline, and it follows a retired Bruce Wayne who comes back to the Cape and the Cowl to stop the mutant gang and also to suit up and to stop Superman in the now very iconic Crime Alley fight between Batman and Superman. Pete Weller voices Bruce Wayne Batman, which is a perfect, very seasoned and grumpy like voice. It's very so it fits this particular Batman. And if you love DKR, you'll love this animated film because dialogue, the visuals, all of it, it's very, very, very close to the original 4-issue series. You can't get any better. It's pretty good. I know that there are a lot of adaptations on this list, but honestly, I think if a film is adapted from a comic or some type of source material, a lot of times it will be a fantastic film or TV series or video game because this writing is simply outstanding. So how can you mess it up? Which leads us into our number 5 movie, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Was that a drag? I didn't mean for that to be a drag. Did I? Batman v Superman was released in 2016 and is part of the DC Cinematic Universe, or the DC Extended Universe as it is officially called. And it was the first time we saw our then current cinematic Bruce Wayne / Batman, and that was Ben Affleck. And Superman in this cinematic universe was played by Henry Cavill. A follow-up to 2013's film Man of Steel, Batman v Superman follows the aftermath of Superman fighting General Zod and literally tearing up all the cities. And Bruce Wayne sees that Superman is a threat to everyone and literally needs to be stopped. All the while, Lex Luthor has his own plans for getting that kryptonite and stopping Superman because we don't like Superman because we're Lex Luthor. And then using Batman to help him fight Superman and all that good stuff. Now, I like this movie, first off. I don't want you to think that I don't. And I love to make fun of some of the things in this movie just because it's funny. But it is not a horrible film. Honestly, why I didn't switch it and make number 6 this one and number 5 the anime DKR is because whether or not you like the movie Batman v Superman, it is part of history because it is the first time that Batman and Superman, the two characters, are on the big screen together. They hadn't been on the live action cinematic screen in all of the years that they've been around until 2016, until this movie. And of course, this film, from the look of it, from Ben Affleck's bat suit to, of course, the fight between Batman and Superman, was all inspired by Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. If you didn't know. But yes, it is important because of seeing World's Finest on the big screen, from even being the first movie that Ben Affleck's Batman was featured in. And I have to say, visually, especially with the suit, the armored suit to even the regular bat suit, it is a very, very good adaptation of Frank Miller's book that it's based on, and I do like that. The comic book accuracy of the visuals, totally spot on. Literally, it was just, the plot was just all over the place and was not as cohesive as it should have been. I honestly think that was the biggest downfall, and trying to stuff a lot of different A, B, C, D, E storylines into this one movie. I think that was probably what made it a difficult watch for some, but I like it. I watch it all the time. Hey, I might even watch it tonight. You never know. I'm sure you've seen it, but if you haven't, might as well. Alrighty, our number 4 film is Joker. I actually have this Joker pin that I received from my awesome pal, the Batgeek, that is on Instagram. He designed it, and look, it's so cool. I love the colors and everything. This is actually my first day wearing this pin because I literally have not left my house since I received it. I have been working from home, so I have literally been in pajamas and things of that nature. So this is one of the first times I'm actually tried. You know what I mean? But if you haven't followed the Batgeek on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, he is literally the first Batman-oriented account that was on Instagram. He started in 2011. All the other ones, including myself, started later, but he was one of the first accounts that I followed, and he has been very, very nice and supportive of History of the Batman since 2013. So it's very, very nice that he sent this to me because, yeah, I love Joker. So I just want to say thank you to the Batgeek for sending me this awesome pin. And he's also going to be making a baby Yoda pin that he is sending to me, which he totally didn't have to do. And that's so nice because I am obsessed with baby Yoda. I will also link this pin in the description if you want to pick one up. I personally really like it. The quality is awesome. The colors are awesome. And yeah, if you like Joker, cop this pin, so check it out in the description below. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about Joker because I literally have like 5 or 6 videos that are just about Joker. But of course, Joker came out this year on October 4th, so almost 2 months ago. It stars Joaquin Phoenix, and it is a character study on the character Arthur Fleck and his very, very dark and bleak descent into eventually becoming the character that he dubs Joker, which of course is based off of the Batman mythos character of the Joker. Now, the Joker is not our number 4 film of the 2010s because I like it, or the fact that it's made over $1 billion for Warner Brothers. But I honestly think it is a new and refreshing take on talking about the Joker's many origin stories, and it is setting the mold for how Warner Brothers and other film studios want to take on classic characters like the Joker. Even Variety reported that Warner Brothers is thinking about doing other DC solo movies like the Joker. Maybe not as bleak or as depressing, but at least doing solo films that focus on characters such as the Batman villains that will be in Matt Reeves' 2021 film, The Batman. They talked about maybe they're on the road to doing a Riddler or Catwoman or Penguin solo movie that is within the universe of Matt Reeves' The Batman. The fact that it's kind of being a trailblazer of sorts for creativity within the film industry and how we film comic book movies and how we absorb them or even interpret the characters that we love, that's enough for it to be on the list. It just made the cut. All right, our number 3 movie is Batman Under the Red Hood, starring the voice talents of Bruce Greenwood as Batman, Jensen Ackles as Jason Todd, aka Red Hood, and John DiMaggio as the Joker. Batman Under the Red Hood came out in 2010 and is based on Judd Winnick's original series Batman Under the Hood, which was released in 2004 through 2005. And this story, not just the animated film, but the story, the comic book arc itself is important because it is the official reintroduction of the character Jason Todd after his death by the Joker from 1989's Batman: A Death in the Family. And it follows Jason Todd's resurrection story and returning as the new Red Hood, which of course the original Red Hood was the Joker. So any psych majors out there can break down what that means all you want. I honestly think this is the reason why many people are fans of the Red Hood character, because if you ask me, you could have kept Jason Todd dead. You honestly did not have to bring him back. Like, I know that that's blasphemy for many people, but it was unnecessary. I like the Red Hood character. I don't have an issue. It's just an unnecessary character. That sounds so bad, but I love the movie. I do love the comic book series, and I love the fact that it's so extra that Superboy Prime punched the walls of reality and shook and woke Jason Todd up from the grave, and then Talia finds him, and then they put him in the Lazarus pit and he turns crazy. Like, I love that entire insane, very supernatural-like storyline. I know I'm talking a lot about the book too, but the movie itself is good, especially the confrontation between Batman, Red Hood, and the Joker towards the end of the movie. For animation, that's one of the best scenes, I think, within this decade that we're talking about. It's very powerful. You could feel Jason Todd's pain towards his adopted father, mentor, and him saying, "Why didn't you kill Joker after he killed me?" It's a very three-dimensional scene for these characters, and that alone, I think, makes it our number 3 pick. But like I said, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Pretty sure it's on DC Universe or another app, so why don't you go watch it? Our number 2 pick is The Dark Knight Rises. I'm sure you're like, how? But it came out in 2012. So, I mean, our number 3 movie was 2010. It just feels like it's so far away. For some reason, 2010 and 2012, it seems like it's not within this decade. I don't know. Time is a trip. Time is a concept. And just a reminder, Batman Begins came out in 2005 and The Dark Knight came out in 2008. So it is not eligible within our time frame, I guess. Of course, it stars Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne / Batman, and he has to go up against the very powerful and scary Bane, who was portrayed by Tom Hardy, as he literally takes over Gotham City and starts chaos in the worst way. Of course, this movie is great for many reasons. However, the fact that it adapted classic Batman arcs such as Batman Nightfall, so when he lifts Bruce Wayne's Batman up and breaks him over his knee, that's literally from Nightfall. He also followed the arc Batman No Man's Land. I have him with me, but I always carry my little Adventures of Little Bane, my little Bane around, and that Bane is the Bane from Dark Knight Rises. This is my, of course, favorite Bane of all time that I got custom made because Bane is my favorite character. It's just so dope. But once again, I did not put this movie as our number 2 pick because I love Bane. I really didn't, I promise. I think that The Dark Knight Rises was a great way to round out that very fan favorite film series. I love the interpretations of all the characters from Bane to Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. Some along with the other 2 within the trilogy are some of the best Batman films that have ever been made. And the series as a whole was an introduction for a lot of people to the Batman character. So you can't not add in one of the Dark Knight trilogy's films within this. I recently rewatched it the other night because I own it, of course. But yeah, I recommend The Dark Knight Rises if you love any of the storylines it is based off of, if you just love the Nolan Batman films. It is just a great movie, even to rewatch today. Yay, we're like right there. Our number 1 best Batman film from the 2010s. God, doesn't matter if I have to do these videos like 3 more times. Still gonna be weird. Is 2017's The Lego Batman movie. And I have several reasons why this is the best Batman-centric within the Batman universe. Batman's a major character movie that has come out in the last decade. This Kris McKay directed movie that stars Will Arnett as Bruce Wayne / Batman is not only hilarious and so much fun no matter if you are a young or old Bat fan, but it references practically all of the movies or all of the characters within these movies that I just talked about in this video. Highlights Batman and the many interpretations of the character over the last 80 years in this one film. It stockpiles and just has so many different Batman villains within the character's 80-year history. It's actually a really good origin story type movie for Dick Grayson's Robin that is in this film. And it is also a very fun film that talks about Bruce Wayne's longing for a family after he lost his when he was young and finding it within the people around him, from Alfred Pennyworth to Dick Grayson to even Barbara Gordon, who becomes the new Batgirl. This movie even highlights the very dysfunctional but real relationship between Batman and Joker is voiced by Zach Galifianakis, which makes it even funnier. Honestly, the Lego Batman movie is not just a triumph because of all of the things I have mentioned, but it is very self-aware that we are talking about Batman and kind of highlights the very extreme and outrageous parts of the mythos, but does it in a very fun and non-disrespectful way. I could not think of a film within this decade that really brought out all of the different aspects of Batman's mythos and put it into one film and is just as fun and rewatchable over and over again as much as the Lego Batman movie, which is why I put it in our number 1 spot. Thank you guys so much for watching this video about the best Batman films from the 2010s. If you enjoyed this video, please give a bat thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below your favorite Batman movie from the 2010s and why it is your favorite. And also, if you didn't like my choices on this list, it's totally fine. You can tell me in the comments below what you would switch, what you would take out, what you would put in, all of that good stuff. I really would like to know. As always, all of my social media is linked in the description below, including Instagram at History of the Batman. So why don't you go to follow and become a Gothamite? Check out my videos for a DC Comics DC fan channel, and of course, please subscribe to this channel so you can become part of this Batman community. It'd be so fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will have more of this series and other Batman videos right here on History of the Batman's YouTube channel. Remember, Gothamites, all about peace, love, and Batman. Bye, and happy holidays.
What?